Well, the Republicans have stepped in it yet again. So today, the Arizona Supreme Court has ruled that a 160-year-old total abortion ban still in the books in the state is enforceable. The ruling allows a 1864 law in Arizona to stand that makes abortion a felony punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison for anyone who performs one or helps a woman obtain one. This is from NBC News. They never learn. They never learn. I talked pretty extensively on stream about Dodd and how it was going to affect the upcoming 2022 election when it came into effect. I said and stated outright that it was going to cost them the election. I think that this has a very similar potential outcome. The Republicans they're not learning. Conservatives are not learning, right? And I can't tell if it's a degree of desperation with them. Like they know that their net share of the vote is going down and they're just making more and more and more brazen decisions as a group because it's never going to happen if they don't do it now. That's my thought. But they just never learn. And I've talked about this pretty extensively if you guys have ever seen this stream, that Republicans, by and large, lose elections and then move on with their day. They don't care to analyze what exactly caused the loss in the first place. I think it's what we coined actually last night on live called Coliseum politics. Just the persistent yelling about the outcome you want, not understanding anything that's happening in the arena with the sport or anything to that degree, just being a carnival barker. The Republicans lost in 2022 because of Dodd. They have lost special elections across the United States by, I think, beating the polls by about 11 points. Last week, there was a woman in Arizona that ran off IVF protection and abortion protection, and she flipped a district by 25 points. This is very clearly the issue that Democrats need to drive home. It's the most indefensible one. And I think it's going to be very difficult for Donald Trump and the Republicans to overcome the praise that they have for ending Roe v. Wade. In this instance, you have a candidate that, in the polls at least, Donald Trump is winning in Arizona. Now, I'm very suspect about the polls. That's for another video. But you have a candidate, Donald Trump, that is already unliked by a lot of people in Arizona for what he thinks of John McCain. And now you've added an instance where there's likely to be a ballot measure, and this is talked about in this article, there's likely to be a ballot measure voting to protect abortion rights come November. So you've set up a situation where, there's going to be an influx of voters show up to protect their rights, people that otherwise wouldn't vote or maybe not persuaded or anything to that degree. Now, are all of those people going to be Democrats? No. But by and large, pro-choice falls in line with Democrats. And so you would expect that if you could get 2-3% of people that don't normally show up to show up and vote, disaster down ballot for the Republicans in Arizona. This is it's a really fun, as someone that, analyzes politics every single day, it is fun to watch as I tell you guys on here, like, this is what the Republican Party needs to do to win, and they do nothing with it. And people complain to me frequently. They're like, hey, you're telling them, you're giving them the game plan of what to do. The problem is they don't listen, right? So it's like taunting someone. It's like, I'm going to throw a pass downfield to that guy at the 50-yard line and them just being like, no, you're not, and then doing it, and then doing it again, and then doing it again, just calling my shot every single time. This is going to be really bad for Republicans, really, really bad for Republicans come November, because it's not like there's a lot of enthusiasm on either side, the Democrat or the Republican side, to show up to vote. There really, really is not. That's pretty an undeniable thing. And you are giving Democrats a significant advantage in a state that you pretty much have to win. You're giving them a significant advantage, and they don't learn. They don't learn. I think that the Democrats' messaging for this needs to very clearly be, in this election going forward, is we're going to protect abortion rights. We're going to protect abortion rights. We're going to protect abortion rights. We're going to protect abortion rights, and just drill that home at every instance. And I talked about this on live, but the Democrats supposedly have already done this. I think the most simplest ad that you can run is Donald Trump saying, hey, I'm glad I ended Roe. And then I'm Joe Biden, I approve this message. Like, just that. Run a 5 to 10 second ad, cut down on the amount of overhead for running a 30-second ad. Just run 5-10 second ad with just that. and you can run a lot more of them. I think driving that point home is going to be pretty important. Now, as far as the the electorate goes, we're watching as Democrats continue to beat the polls in virtually every instance in special elections, and especially when it comes to abortion. When abortion is the top issue in those campaigns, the Democrats, they show up, they vote, they do, really, really well. I think the last one I saw is the Democrats beating the polls by 11 points on average, the special election polls in 2023. And I think it was 7 points. I'm pretty sure it was 7 points in 2022. So for special elections, this is an issue that is crazy that the Democrats aren't hyper focused on it, because it's very well indefensible. But as long as we see a degree of pickup from that we have, like we don't even have to see anything new. If we see the same trajectory of people showing up to vote because they are upset about Roe v. Wade, the Republicans are going to be in significant trouble in Arizona and vis-a-vis the election. I think that this is a really good sign for the Democrats. I think the Democrats need to hammer that home in Arizona. I think that's a way that they get people out to vote. And I think that by and large, Republicans, because of abortion, are still going to be in trouble. I do not think that the dust has settled from 2022, and I'm not sure it's going to. Anyways, make sure you guys are subscribing. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.